All right, guys, number 7 asks you to model this problem. So we have 4 divided by 4/5. So our first number tells us how many boxes we're starting with. That is 4 whole boxes that we need to draw and shade in. So I'm going to draw 4 holes, and then I'm going to shade them completely in, just like this. Then your denominator tells you what you should be splitting your box into. So I need to split each box into fifths. So 1, 2, 3. If I draw 4 lines, there you can see I have 5 boxes within each hole now. So there are my 4 holes split into fifths. Then your numerator on your second number tells you you're looking for groups of 4. So I need to go 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, there's one group. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 2 groups. So there's 2 up here. And we're going to take 2 from down on that third box. There's our third group. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 groups of 4, which means our final answer here would be the number 5. So 4 divided by 4/5 equals 5. Final answer. All right, number 8 is a modeling problem again. We have 2/3 divided by 5/6. First thing we have to do when we have a fraction divided by a fraction is get a common denominator. The way we figure out what our common denominator is for 3 and 6 is by finding our LCM, our least common multiple. So that means I need to list my multiples of 3 and then list my multiples of 6. So for 3, that would be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. And then for 6, 6 times 1 is 6, and we can see already that our least common multiple, our LCM, is going to be the number 6. So what this means for us is, back in our original problem, we need to change 2/3 to be something over 6. 5, 6 can stay because we already have a 6 as our denominator, which is great. So for 2/3, to get from 3 to 6, you multiply by 2. Whatever you do on the bottom, you should do on the top as well. So 2 times 2 is 4. So my new problem, when I got common denominators, would be 4/6 divided by 5/6. And now I can model. So if I'm starting with 4/6, that means I have one box. My denominator tells me I need to split this into 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes. And your first numerator tells you to shade in 4 of those boxes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Your second numerator tells you you're looking for groups of that many. So in this problem, we're looking for groups of 5. So if I go down to my problem, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, looking at that group, only 4 out of my 5 boxes are shaded in, which tells me my final answer for 2/3 divided by 5/6 is going to be 4/5. Final answer. For the last 3 problems, they just ask you to solve. We do not have to model. So we can use our algorithm to do 1/3 divided by 3/4. First thing we have to do is get a common denominator. So that means I need to find my LCM of my two denominators, which are 3 and 4. So I'm going to list my multiples of 3. That would be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. And then list my multiples of 4 until I find a number in common. So 4, 8, 12. And I can stop right there. So I can see my LCM of 3 and 4 is the number 12. So I need to change 1/3 into something over 12 and 3/4 into something over 12. So from 3 to 12, I multiply by 4. Whatever you do on the bottom, you should do on the top as well. So 1 times 4 is 4. So 1/3 changes to 4/12. So I'm going to put that 4/12. And for 3/4, well, from 4 to 12, I multiply by 3. Whatever I do on the bottom, I do on the top. So 3 times 3 is 9. So 3/4 becomes 9/12. Now I can look at my two numerators. I have a 4 and a 9. And remember, you put your first numerator on top, your second numerator on the bottom. So my final answer here would be 4/9. So next one, number 10, says 4 divided by 2/3. So first thing we have to do is to make that 4 over 1, right? Turn that whole number into a fraction. Now from here, I can make common denominators. So that means I need to find my LCM of my two denominators, 1 and 3. So multiples of 1 would be 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to stop because my first multiple of 3 is 3. So that means my common denominator is the number 3. So 2/3 can stay as it is because that denominator is already my LCM, 3. So that just means we need to change 4 over 1 into something over 3. Well, from 1 to 3, I multiply by 3. Whatever you do on the bottom, you do on the top. So 4 times 3 is 12. So my new division problem with common denominators is 12 over 3 divided by 2 over 3. Take your two numerators, so 12 and 2. First numerator goes on top, so 12. Second numerator goes on the bottom, over 2. Remember, we can treat a fraction bar as a division sign. So really this says 12 divided by 2. Well, 12 divided by 2, we know, is 6. So make sure you simplify that fraction. Don't leave it as 12 over 2 because that can be simplified to just the number 6. Okay, last problem. We have 1 1/8 divided by 1/2. So notice our first number here is a mixed number. We need to change that into an improper fraction. So this is where we're going to use the cartwheel method. So we need to do 8 times 1, which is 8, plus 1 is 9. So remember, there's our cartwheel. So this is 9 over 8. So from here, I have 9 over 8 divided by 1 over 2. Now I need to find my common denominators, which means I need to find my LCM of my two denominators. So I have 2 and 8. List their multiples of 2, which would be 2, 4, 6, 8. And then our first multiple of 8 is 8. So that tells us our LCM is 8, and 9/8 can stay as it is, but we do need to change 1 over 2 into something over 8. To get from 2 to 8, you multiply by 4. Whatever you do on the bottom, you should do on the top as well. So 1 times 4 is 4. So my new division problem with common denominators is 9/8 divided by 4/8. take our two numerators, 9 and 4, and turn that into our answer, so 9/4. And then here, we can't leave it as 9/4, right? We want to change it to an improper or to simplify it. So 4 goes into 9 2 whole times with 1/4 left over. So that would be our final answer, 2 1/4.